Welcome to another video. It's your boy Juan here, back with another one. And this is if all humans vanish, how long until Earth erased everything? Bro, if the planet Earth, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. If humans didn't exist, the Earth would just keep cycling on, bro. And it's gonna keep cycling on like that. It's just what it is. There will be a new species, but it's like, I don't know. Just boom. Let's just get into the react, man. I fucking love this.
This is Earth, 1,000 years in the future. Humans are long gone. What happened here?
Dog, what happened for every human on the Earth to disappear?
And what remains from our time on this planet? Well, today we're answering, if all humans vanished, how long would it be until Earth erased every trace of us?
Talk about what?
It's...
Whoa, first of all, I would say, boom. How long? It wouldn't, technically, we have a billion years ago, bro. What do you think? We have fucking dinosaur, right? So it would just like bury your bones, but if they just stop existing just like that, I can see it. But if it's just like regular, every human just died.
Day one after every single human on Earth has disappeared. The streets are empty, the cars have stopped, bikes lay abandoned, the music gone silent. Squirrels and dogs and cats run through the city squares, along with the odd police horse. A bold coyote makes its way downtown. On the surface, the cities still look normal enough, minus the traffic and the crowds. Square and Shibuya Crossing stand barren.
Empty.
But the lights are still on. Traffic lights beckoning pedestrians to walk.
So I'm writing an essay on cats in art history. I'm an art history major.
The majority of hydroelectric and nuclear power plants are still operating, though no one is at the wheel overseeing them. Within a week, most will trip a routine breaker that a human supervisor would normally reset, and then the sprawling plants will shut down. Generators kick on in hospitals, their diesel motors keeping the city looking like it normally does, but they'll burn through their
Batteries pretty quick.
fuel within 48 hours. Generators running on natural gas will keep running longer. Cities start to go dark. They're still warm because most heating systems are built to run autonomously.
Bro, if we disappear, well, dang, the world would go dark.
Few weeks, natural gas compressors and distribution stations stop working properly due to
The OD if we did just stop existing just like that, no remains.
pressure drops or power outages. In the colder parts of the world, the heat starts to turn off. In the warmer parts of the world, the food is rotting. Post-humanity smells. Within a month,
Oh my god, bro, stop recommending your book, bro.
humans disappearing, our usual comforts of modern life, electricity, heat, and running water, have mostly
This is the OG right here, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. He's keeping YouTube.
stopped working.
He's keeping YouTube.
Humans have built incredible automated systems to give ourselves power, control over the temperature of our homes, and nice warm baths. But guess what? Humans actually still do the stuff, or did the stuff, to keep all those systems running. Cities are blacked out. Wherever it's winter, towns freeze solid. Pipes burst, flooding houses and residential buildings.
Dang, so we just keep water from flying.
Fires and explosions are common. Behind the locked doors, it's basically
See a car driving in that.
cockroaches. Pets, farm animals, and zoo animals either die from starvation or escape their pens and homes and flood into the wild. Outside, it's pure chaos. Things have gone post-apocalyptic in real short order. Like in Chernobyl,
1 to 10 years.
packs of feral dogs stalk the streets at night. There is an exception, though. For cities that built their power grids around renewables, well, these solar panels keep turning
I was like 4, bro.
photons into electrons. Wind turbines and hydro keep churning. In Reykjavik, hey, the geothermal is still working. But all complex power systems have fail-safes and breakers that need monitoring and supervision.
Oh, yeah.
Without human direction, the major grids shut down, one by one. Within a year, all urban centers are dark and cold and silent.
Oh, so Earth becomes Earth.
Now, if you were one of the sole survivors who somehow avoided the big vanishing, how would you be doing at this point? Well, there'd still be tons of preserved canned food, fuel for burning, bottled water, lots of shelter because there'd be no one else around.
Straight up. First of all, if nah, bro, we all could die. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm dying in 1 to 5 days. Fuck that, bro. What do you mean? I'm the only human here. I'm gonna try to reproduce. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I'm finna go no wild, just monkey or some shit, bro.
If you knew anything about camping, you'd be
Just be fine. Every animal try to hunch out. Now you is almost extinct.
You could rig up your own local solar panels and keep the lights on. Start farming. Of course, it would be a bit more challenging than usual, because there's no internet to ask, how do I install solar panels? And if we're talking solar panels, did you know that regular silicon solar panels are already pushing their theoretical limits? Yeah, about 29.4% efficiency. But next-gen solar panels of stacked perovskite designs?
Dog, when did we get here?
Well, the
I'm not building my old solar
thing
system.
jumps to 45.1%. That's a 53% leap silicon could never break on its own. Crazy, right?
53. It's okay.
But a claim like that only matters if it's backed by research. And here's the problem. Ask a normal AI and it'll hand you a confident answer with citations that don't even exist. That's where consensus comes in. You can see ours. The world ended? Remember books, right? Well, now, whether you had a library card or not, you'd have access to all kinds of critical information. If you could figure out the Dewey Decimal System. Outside of your home or apartment, the rest of the human world would start to slowly decay. The weeds and the riotous power of nature push their way into the human domain.
Yo, this was like Zombie 100, bro.
Pandemic, those nature is healing videos. Well, most were fake, but now nature is starting to heal aggressively and overtaking the old human world. How long until it erases everything we've built? Well, we'll get to that, but you've probably been wondering, how did we disappear anyway? Now, the way humanity ends will have a lot to say about what actually remains for nature to heal. I've spent a decade YouTubing all the ways the universe could kill us, and there's just so many ways. On one end of the how does humanity die spectrum,
Son.
it's possible that something out there in space could kill us. For instance, we've been keeping a close eye on the massive temperamental white dwarf star in the binary T Pyxidas system, about 3,000 light years away from.
We just have a picture of it. Why can't we find no aliens? We have pictures of fucking suns.
Scientists estimate that it will go supernova in about 10 million years, which could completely destroy our ozone layer. So, what if we've missed a bigger, closer star that goes supernova without warning? It would hit us with a gamma ray burst so strong that it not only destroys all life on Earth, but
What the f is this, bro? No. This is not. What is it? Laser eyes, bro. Come on.
also shreds our atmosphere and takes the entire crust off the planet. If we get hit by particles traveling 99% the speed of light, Earth gets sanitized. Or what if we don't spot an incoming asteroid, an interstellar runaway like 3I Atlas rocketing into our system at high velocity? That guy was doing nearly 7 kilometers per second, and if it hit, it was gonna do way more damage than the Chicxulub asteroid. And Chicxulub, which nailed Earth 65 million years ago, wiped out the dinosaurs. It incinerated forests, blasted trillions
Oh, was there a second asteroid, bro?
of tons of gas and lava into the atmosphere and created a nuclear winter. That kind of impact would erase a lot of human achievement in short order, so it's possible an
Okay, I'm gonna say the asteroid needs to be at least as big as a fucking mountain, bro. To write down everything. My dog. Look, that was Pangaea, right? Whatever the fuck it's called, right? Anyways, all the islands were kind of together, kind of. So we got islands here, and we need a whole ginormous
asteroid could disappear us, along with most of our infrastructure. Another option, what if we obliterate our own existence by starting a nuclear war? Yeah, the threat of mutually assured destruction hovered over us during the second half of the 20th century, and humanity still has over 12,000 nukes, which could kill millions in the initial exchange, and then billions with the radiation and the nuclear winter that would follow. But it wouldn't.
Why do we have fucking nuclear bombs just stored up? Like, dog.
Leave the planet looking like this. None of those scenarios would. They would cause mass destruction. Just. So, what would vanish us? Well, the most likely culprit is a superbug, a bioengineered virus or bacteria
I think lab rats, bro. I'm thinking of lab rats.
en masse by nefarious actors. Bad guys with bad pathogens. This idea has been around since we really started fretting about the end of the world, post-atomic bomb. It was popularized during the height of Cold War Armageddon fears, emerging in sci-fi thrillers like Alistair MacLean's The Satan Bug. It was Star Trek stuff at the time, medical make-believe, but these days, researchers
It could be real, bro.
worry that a
Or
real
we get the little. It's like rat paper. It's like rat pee on your like some peed on by a rat or some virus.
Satan bug could be designed by rogue scientists and AI. Microbiologists bumped up against this recently. AI solved a complex superbug antibiotic problem, one that had taken researchers years to figure out, in just a couple of days. And it was just 2 years ago that scientists warned against research into creating mirror-life bacteria. While hailed as a good way to develop targeted, long-lasting drugs, the bacteria could also potentially kill any life on Earth that was exposed to it. Or we could be wiped out by a robotic superbug, tiny, self-replicating Terminator nanobots that
have Iron Man boot proof that Tony Stark has a heart.
disassemble human in minutes, leaving behind nothing but molecular dust and goo. Either way, a biological superbug or a robotic superbug would have the same result. Every city still standing, every building as we left it. A pristine, museum-quality replica
You guys still got lit and all that.
of the human world, with no humans in it, and no one to see it. All of us just gone. So, if humanity vanished, leaving everything we've built standing strong,
Want to strengthen your math skills? Try Brilliant. It's an effective and fun way to learn. Built for
how long would it be until everything we've ever created just fades?
I say vaguely, like at least 68 million years.
Black. The decade after we disappear will be wild. Without maintenance, the world would burn. Literally. Without any firefighters, heavily managed forests would be unprotected for the first time in decades. Mega forest fires would rip across the planet, consuming forests and cities in blazes we can't even fathom. Without irrigation, Farmers' fields would turn to dust. Massive storms turning former wheat belts into dust bowls and desert.
You go, I learned don't worry about history, bro.
Dams would overtop and burst, flooding valleys that humans have lived in and farmed for centuries. And out of the ash and the dust and the flood, the world of plants and fungus would invade the places where humans once reigned. The first losses would be invisible. All those little waterproofing seals and window gaskets would fray and start to let water and snow into houses. Now, new homes are generally built to last 50 to 100 years, but roofs, as any homeowner can tell you, need to be repaired regularly.
True.
Maintenance, the roofs of residential homes would start to fall in a decade or two.
Falling.
And once that happens, well, then the water gets in and the house begins to rot. Wet drywall equals mold and mushrooms and moss, and then insects burrowing into our most treasured possessions. Within 20 to 30 years, waterlogged houses would start to
Hey, bro, we not ending like this, man. We straight not ending like this.
cave in on themselves. In big downtown condos, whatever sealing those windows would start to fail around the same time, leading to the constant sound of full-sized glass windows falling from residential towers and shattering on the street below. With wide open windows, then moisture and plants move in. Everything warps and the structure destabilizes. Steel corrodes, rebar expands and fractures the concrete wall.
Who got this stock footage, bro?
Within 50 years, cheap condos and office towers start to slump over.
Who let this get this bad? Who let this?
Soon after that, bridges and overpasses fail. Concrete cracks, particularly in colder climates where the freezing and thawing cycle
Is this dude in space?
quickly break it apart at the seams. The steel bridges rust, and without humans to keep up with painting and replacing struts and suspension
This dude's like 50, bro.
ropes, suspension bridges collapse in spectacular
Just like
fashion.
50, bro.
Their swaying cables would snap, sending them tumbling into the sea.
Dude, love
Now,
his voice.
on the upside, with us pesky humans out of the way, well, Earth's endangered species and fragile biodiversity would see a resurgence. We've seen nature rebound in places where humans have disappeared, like Korea's demilitarized zone, the DMV, thin strip of land where no humans have been allowed since the 1950s. It's now an ecological utopia bordered by landmines. Within 100 years, most of our modern
Look, without humans, the world is going into hell, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Dude, you know how many landmines we got? Dog, if say that happens, right? Animal walks over, boom! Animal walks, boom! Like, come on now.
structure collapses. What remains standing after a century are the buildings that were
Look, nukes and all that. Some animal can come in, accidentally press a button, a bunch of nukes set off, and then it's like, come on.
frankly built to last. Often built in the old ways with stone and masonry, government buildings, cathedrals, places of worship, monuments. There's a surprising number of freestanding stone buildings that have survived 1,000 years or more. Of course, they had human hands perpetually repairing them. Some are even older, like the Pantheon in Rome, which has been standing for over 1,900 years. It's an outlier, engineered with a special type of self-healing Roman concrete. But without any human oversight, these marvels of engineering would weather and sag and eventually fall apart. After 1,000 years, every major cathedral and monument would finally topple over. The Statue of Liberty would lie broken. Even the Pantheon's pillars would crumble, its iconic dome cracking and shattering in the dust. City skylines would be gone. The old towers of commerce, the glass and steel monoliths, would have long since rusted and crumpled. Every city becoming a pile of rubble.
Like, no shit, bro. Dude, we have in landmines. Dog, if those gorillas get the hands of the guns and all that we have, we're fucking done. Not we, they are done. Why?
Only buildings that would remain, in large part, are the buildings that previously stood for millennia. Stone temples and funeral mounds like the pyramids, cleanly designed, meant to last for eons. But the land would begin to bury them.
Dog, the Egyptians are the most smartest builders ever. What do you mean this has been sitting here for the past 1,000 years, bro?
Growing over them, the sand sweeping over the Sphinx once again. And while you might think, what about plastic? Plastic will last for... Well, it usually takes 20 to 500 years to degrade into smaller pieces. After 10,000 years, nature would grow over everything. An alien visitor flying overhead
Humanity starts tomorrow. Oh my god.
would never be able to tell that there'd been a civilization below. But the buildings would still be in some recognizable shape buried beneath the ground. If an alien species had LiDAR technology, well, they could uncover great old
LiDAR technology. Holy shit.
structures in the same way that we do. It wasn't that long ago, back in the 1990s, that we realized the insane age of some of the buildings we've left behind in the past. Like the ruins of Göbekli Tepe in southern Turkey. The archaeologists who rediscovered the ruins described it as a mound with no traces of prehistoric people visible, no walls. But beneath the soil was the oldest building in the world, built over 11,000 years ago. Similarly, we've found single buildings like the Knap of Howard, still preserved beneath the Scottish peat, a tiny farmhouse over 5,000 years old. So even after 5 to 10,000 years, our work would still exist, but it would be buried. Like the temples of Tikal, the great Mayan temples abandoned to the jungle over 1,000 years ago.
Bro, I'm saying, dog, what do you mean? It has been here for 11,000 years? Dog, tell me how many years for us to go this. But tell us, it will be still here. It's just the traces will be still here. I ain't gonna hold you.
Rediscovered.
I feel like we'll like our traces. We have too many traces. It's like the digital footprint, bro. And then we got like devices and all that.
Had been completely overrun by the jungle. Just the limestone tips of the Mayan pyramids poking out from the hills in the thick forest. But beneath the ground, the buildings and burial sites were still remarkably intact after 1,000 years, and the steps
still got graves.
And it's not that uncommon. The famous terracotta warriors in China had been hidden in the mausoleum of the first Qin emperor, Emperor Qin Shi Huang, for over 2,000 years when they were found, with barely
this is the end, bro.
Scratch on them. It's somewhat fitting that the longest lasting marks that humans leave behind tend to be funeral monuments, gravestones. But time erases everything, eventually. After
1,000 to a billion, bro. That is such a large gap.
100,000 years.
This is a large gap. Like a million to like
Even
100,000 to a billion? Oh,
terracotta warriors and the Mayan temples would crumble. Weathering, erosion, plants, and fungi would break concrete into sand, steel into iron oxide, into soil. Cities would be elevated mounds, the places we inhabited indistinguishable from nature. If you stood on a cliff overlooking Mexico City or Tokyo and gazed out at the world, it would look pristine. No remnants of these cities, just forest and grasslands, jungle. Nature would be completely recovered by now. The sounds of traffic replaced with the hum and the calls of animals. Without humans overrunning their habitat or hunting them, formerly endangered species would reclaim their natural footholds. Sumatran orangutans would proliferate across Southeast Asia. Amur leopards, whose population was driven down to less
Less than 1,000.
than 200,
200?
hunt in great numbers again across the former Russia-China border. On the African plains, without fences or poachers, the great migrations would become truly great again. Families of endangered black rhinos and our cousins, the mountain gorillas, would thrive and grow. And the California condor would soar over the west coast in flocks.
Again?
More. The one true legacy we'd leave behind? Our pets. Cats would survive just fine without us, thank you very much. And dogs? Well, they'd be our most impressive, lasting legacy. This is a dingo. They evolved around 5,000 years ago, not from wolves, but from escaped dogs. And these are dingoes 2.0, of the surviving dogs of the Great Vanishing over 100,000 years ago. They hunt in packs, just like wolves and African painted dogs, but
African painted dogs.
they're definitely still our old pals. Now, on the surface of Earth, humanity's best friend would become humanity's last remaining flag bearer. But deep underground, our presence might last longer. And don't forget, we discovered cave paintings dating back 50,000 years or more at sites stretching across the planet. We found pictures of prehistoric life from Europe to Brazil to Indonesia. So there's a chance that our activity beneath the surface would also survive. Places like mine shafts, subway tunnels and their ancient graffiti, weird bunkers like the Churchill War Rooms or the Svalbard Global Seed Vault and its 675 million seeds. Or the deep geological repositories drilled hundreds of meters underground, created to securely hold our nuclear waste. So yeah, the last remnants of humanity someone finds might be a seed repository or a nuclear fuel dump. But eventually, even those will cave in. The Earth never stops moving. Over millions of years, tectonic plates will skate over Earth's molten core, subducting humanity's existence with it. Above ground, plants and animals would continue to evolve, and eventually, the next great intelligence would arise. They might be descendants of our cousins, those endangered orangutans or mountain gorillas. Or they might be orcas, or octopuses, or crows. But eventually, some other species would become smart enough to dig around and invent their own paleontology. And one
That's crazy, twin.
Who were these crazy humans left these fossils behind? Because Earth keeps evidence of everything. Though almost everything will be eventually destroyed by geological activity, our passing will remain for billions of years. We know this because we've found fossils of everything from T-Rex back to stromatolites, which lived over 3 billion years ago. And you gotta imagine we humans would leave some serious fossils. Which means that no matter what happens, Earth will never truly erase all trace of us. Not until the sun
I guess it's in the first 30 seconds. First 30 seconds. Everything we fucking do, bro.
transforms into its red giant phase in about 5 billion years. And even then, it's possible that some remnant of humanity, a finger bone or a tooth, maybe yours, will remain buried deep beneath the surface until our last days. But that's a story.
No. Anyways, that will do it for this video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.
Pico, this is your world.
Don't try to stop me from reaching my greatness. If you know me, then you know I'ma make it. Shawty keep phoning and calling me daily. I had to call it back, told her we can't be. Granny, I hope that I make you proud, cause all these voices, they getting too loud. I'm tryna make a new wave, a new sound. You wanna see greatness, better stick around. Gonna make it independent, okay? Even when labels start coming my way, ain't gonna make millions while I make it thousands. Ain't gonna get Uber rich on my talent.